Hey guys, guess what? Hey guys, thanks for joining. I found new lip gloss today, and well, I found it the other day too, but this one's super cute because it's shiny, but it's not too like sparkly, so it's still like functional, I guess, because like I can overdo it sometimes, right? Um, guys, I'm gonna talk to you about something serious right now, man. I'm gonna talk to you about something serious, man. Whoo, child, God help me. So Jesus, take the wheel and drive fast. That's what my aunt says. Jesus, take the wheel and drive fast. So, as you guys know, I am a survivor of human trafficking. And for years and years and years, nobody believed me. Everybody said, oh, she's a liar, she's a grifter, she's a scammer, she's taking advantage of good white Americans. Blonde hair, blue eyed, good white Americans. Oh, she never had anything bad happen to her. She never. Bro. Listen, the other day on stream, I was going through some old evidence because the police have been doing interviews with me about the human trafficking I experienced and the abuse that my ex-husband done to me because while we were at Pugwash Camp in Nova Scotia, an Adventist camp that he was trying to do some work with because he was studying to be a pastor, um he was trying to get work with some of the conferences, so we went out there to do some work. I was pregnant at the time. The man beat me so badly and so consistently, I miscarried the baby. I went to the hospital in Nova Scotia, and then they had to put me to the hospital in New Brunswick because the closest one was in a small, and the next biggest one was in the province over. And in both hospitals, they gave me abortion pills. They didn't want to do a D&C. They waited for the HCG to drop to 0 to make sure that the baby was actually dead because the HCG was dropping. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to wait and see until it actually goes or not. And I was bleeding and everything and in loads of pain. So they waited, tested me, found that the HCG went to 0. And then they gave me an abortion pill because two abortion pills because the baby, the fetus was not leaving. And they didn't do a D&C. They didn't want to go and take it out themselves. I was still having loads of complications and pain and heavy bleeding. Couldn't even bathe myself. It was humiliating. Um so I had to go to the New Brunswick hospital, and they didn't want to do a D&C either. I was there throwing up, having the runs, bleeding everywhere. And all they did was give me a Rogam shot and 2 more abortion pills. And was like, sucks to suck, bye. Someone even made a comment to me about my age and being pregnant. And I was like, I'm married. They were like, pretty much, you shouldn't have got pregnant this young or whatever. I was like, I'm married. But regardless, ended up leaving. The camp, of course, had to let us go and stop paying us because now I couldn't continue to work and I had to be on bed rest. And so we went back to Montreal. And while we were in Montreal, my ex-husband continued to beat me, and I continued to go in and out of the hospital. There's loads of records of that too, where I was telling the hospital people, my husband is beating me. I'm suffering from the consequences of this miscarriage. I'm in loads of pain. I've been bleeding for months. It won't stop. Having all sorts of health issues because no one was doing anything. No one was helping me. I'm surprised it didn't die, quite frankly. I had doctors tell me that they were surprised it didn't die because this went on for a year. I've showed the text messages online. I posted it and showed that the guy not only not only was this going on, but he would complain that I wasn't cooking and I wasn't cleaning enough. But the reason why I couldn't cook and clean was because I was being beaten and recovering constantly from being beaten. And I was also bedridden largely because of how much I was bleeding and just suffering from the consequences of the miscarriage. But F me, right? I'm a liar. I'm a scammer. I'm a grifter. Someone said, is there something about the cold of Canada that makes men go crazy? I don't know. My ex-husband's family was from Haiti. His mother was half Dominican, half Haitian. His father was Haitian and Irish. And he his mother said that because I was not Haitian was why he was beating me and I was disrespectful. And she said she told him not to marry a woman who wasn't Haitian because this would happen. And I was like, well, is that why? Like, what about all of her ex-husbands beat her and she was mixed race and they were Haitian? So I was like, I don't understand how this logic is logicking. But so it's something that he said he saw growing up. He even told his father about it. His father came over to the house and told him, you need to stop this because you're going to have problems. And he was like, well, the first month we got married, he was just beating me senseless and like strangling me, punching me in the face. I was like, what the hell? And this is why women are scared of nice guys, because it's the nice guys that do this, because we didn't have those problems before I got married. He never hit me once. Sure, he got angry sometimes and argued, but everyone argues. I mean, some of his arguing was intense, but I was like, well, sometimes people get angry. I don't know. And I was just calm. I was like, hey, whatever. Sometimes I would get pissed, but I mean, I was not engaging in that kind of dispute. And as soon as we got married, fights, like hella fighting. And like I said, I had to go to the hospital many times. And I was in Montreal away from my family on this side of Canada. Like, obviously, most of my family was in Alberta. My dad was in Saskatchewan, my granny and, rest of my family was in Alberta. So I was stuck out there and couldn't do anything. He put in a message that he knows that I'm not going to go anywhere because I don't have money. I don't have anywhere to go, and he knows I'm not going to call the police, and then just continued to beat me. The things that women are scared of the most, like feminist women, someone said kind men does not equal nice men. Get a kind masculine man. Yeah, this is why I don't like nice guys, because I realize that the nice guy is actually exceptionally evil. Like, the one that's emotional is exceptionally evil, because I went away to college. Another reason why college is a scam. You'll go away to college by yourself. You'll see a nice guy. You'll think that because he's nice to you, that he's a nice guy. And because your family's far away, that they don't see what's in front of your face, that they don't know what's going on because they're not there in person. And my dad was like, don't marry this person. Do not marry this guy. He's not a good guy. And I was like, no, he's nice. You can't. That's not nice, Dad. Like, he's nice. My dad's like, no, he's not. But I was away at school. I was young and stupid, and I thought I knew better. So I got consequences of my stupidity. That being said, it doesn't justify beating your wife to the point of killing your own child. And then later on, I even posted the conversations where he was telling me, after he cheated on me, he told me that he cheated on me. And right after cheating on me, he demanded that I have sex with him, regardless if I lived with him or not, saying that if I don't give it to him, he's going to rape me. And then later on, I showed another conversation where we had an argument because in the middle of the night while I was sleeping, he started doing things to me sexually, and I woke up in a panic. And he started cursing me about that, saying, I don't give a F. And it's like, so all of these things were going on for years. And he told that when we were at the Pugwash camp in Nova Scotia, there was a man that came to that camp. One of the first day, he preached about how he used to beat his wife and she was Korean. I think she was from America. She was a dietitian, and he was like a French Canadian or something. He had a French name anyways, but he was a white guy. And he said he used to beat his wife, but he had mental health issues, like he had um depression and anxiety and PTSD, something, I don't know, bipolar or something. And he gave his testimony about how God delivered him from beating his wife. She was pregnant the same time I was pregnant. And he decided that we were going to confide in them two at the camp and tell them what happened, that he was beating me at the camp and was just beating me throughout the duration of our marriage. And we were just newly married at the time, because we got married in December 2017. And in 2018, May or June or something, we were at this camp. So they went and talked to us, and he explained what happened. And the guy was like, pretty much, you have to acknowledge that you're a monster if you want to change and fix those issues, and you need to get help. And the woman was like, I can't even imagine what you're going through because you're pregnant, and I wasn't pregnant when all of this was going on. And she even talked about how they chose not to tell the parents. Like, her father said to her, if this happens one more time, you need to tell me, and we're going to the police. They told me in confidence. It happened one more time, and she didn't tell her father, and they wouldn't go to the police. But then he ended up getting the help allegedly that he needed, and he stopped. And she separated from him or something, I don't know. Allegedly, I don't know. She looked very uncomfortable throughout the entire duration of him talking about how he used to beat her and everything like that, so who knows. The fact of the matter is, he confided to these people while we were at this camp, and they didn't do anything. They asked him even, when's the last time you hit her? And he told them while we were at the camp. Then, a couple days later, maybe, from more fights, I'm in the hospital because now the baby is dying. And then they forced me to take abortion pills in the one hospital. Then I have to go to the next hospital because it's still not going out. They gave me abortion pills again. Didn't do a DNC, nothing. Gave me a Rogam shot because they said that that's what's necessary for my blood type. And then just called it a day. And then we had to leave. After that, while I'm in Montreal recovering from this situation, like I said, bedridden pretty much, he's cheating on me with women, still beating me, still trying to get things out of me sexually, and bringing women to our house to try and physically fight me. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm going to call the police because I can see that this is provocation. I don't want to be involved in what's happening here. And I'll just call the police because I'm not going to fight you. There's just too much going on. I'm not going to fight you. And so I had to sit down and watch this while I was bedridden and being beaten and bleeding like a freaking waterfall. And it's not funny, but I mean, like, all I can do is really laugh, I guess. Like I said, I was in and out of the hospital. I was constantly going to the doctor's office whenever I could because I was like, I don't know what the hell is going on here. It's not stopping, and it seems like it's getting worse. I also told them I was being abused. Did anyone do anything? No. And I'm in a place where they predominantly, it's like, I didn't know anything about Quebec. I wasn't raised in Quebec and in Montreal. And it's just like, I didn't have any support systems over there. So I was like, well, I'm cooked. I couldn't take the car and like drive and leave anyways because I could barely move for like an hour at a time. And then he'd come home and complain that I didn't cook or clean anything, beat me some more. I would try to recover from that beating, try to cook or clean something. It would never be enough. So the things that women are most, someone said this is annoying to hear because how come no one could come help you? Where were you? I was on the other side of the country. And I also felt like at that point, I also tried to talk to the church, like the conference in Montreal and the head of the conference in Quebec, in Montreal. And the pastor even came to our house and talked to us, and he said to them that he was beating me and cheating and all this other stuff. They had him preaching at churches sometimes. Some churches were allowing him to preach. They said to him, as long as you don't preach about beating your wife or cheating on her, you're fine. And we continued to go to church. I told other people in the church that he was beating me. No one did anything. They told me, oh, I knew he had anger issues when you guys were like dating. I grew up and I knew him to have anger issues. I was like, you could have told me that you thought he was going to beat me. Because that's a whole different, being an angry person or someone who just has arguments is very different than someone who just beats the hell out of you. Someone said that sucks because you have a great personality. Thank you. That's the grace of God and my father, honestly. So the church didn't do anything. They didn't care. In fact, they covered it up. The girl who I spoke to in one of the churches, her husband is a pastor in a Saskatchewan church. And he said that people don't care as long as you could be beating the hell out of your wife and kids. As long as you don't preach about it and no one knows, no one cares. I said, what the hell? I was like, what kind of man? This was like cognitive dissonance for me. Mind you, you have to remember the physical state that I am in and the mental state after having a baby just beaten out of me. Not only did I have a baby just beaten out of me, I was forced to take abortion pills twice instead of having a D&C. I don't think people understand how much those pills F with you. Like, and I didn't even ask for this. So it's like, there's a lot going on there. And then I'm also trying my best to get help wherever I can, and nobody's giving me any help. So I had to suffer through that for the entire year, pretty much until school started again. And then we drove through America, from Montreal through America, came through Toronto, like the Detroit, Windsor kind of border, because we were going back to school in Alberta. And it is cheaper to drive through America, and it is actually faster to drive through America than it is Canada, because you have way more land to go through Canada to get to the other side of Canada. Way more forestation, all these other things. So we're doing that while we're driving, arguing. Man is like swerving the car like he's going to go off the road and kill us, was constantly doing stuff like that. I'm like, okay, well, every time I try to do something to talk to someone, he's threatening to beat me more. And when I do go and talk to people at the hospitals, there's medical records of this. I have them, and the police will surely have them. I kept documentation of everything because I had no choice. Because who was helping me other than me? It was screw me. It's always screw me, literally, physically, mentally, emotionally, metaphorically. And it's like, oh, if you show any signs of this, I'm going to beat you worse. And he did. If I ever did show any sign of anything, if I have messages where I tried to leave the house and run away, and he'd be messaging me, threatening to beat me again. Like, bro, I have audios of this guy, emails from this guy, phone calls, pictures. So anyways, we go back to school. And throughout the entire relationship that we were together, he was actually cheating. I didn't know because, I don't know, maybe I'm stupid, whatever. When we were dating, he was cheating. When we were engaged, he was cheating. When we were married, he was cheating, whatever. So anyway, we drive through America. We go to Alberta for school. And that time, it's like 2018. This is when things are getting a little bit more, I mean, I don't know how much more rocky you get from that. But in 2019, I guess, is when everything got like more like when more separation started. So I tried going to counseling while we were in Montreal. I tried going to his Haitian church instead of the English church because he's Haitian. So he was always cursing me that I didn't know Haitian Creole, but I wasn't raised with it. And I wasn't raised with the culture of the food. So if I tried to make something and I didn't do it properly, that was a fight. I was getting beaten up. I tried to make sauce pois once. I tried my best with what we had and I failed. It wasn't correct. And I got beaten up for that. And what? What? What is that? Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, because I don't have that open. Here, let me, 1 second. Someone said churches are a scam. That X should be in a grave somewhere. So when I saw your post on the abuse, he's the worst. That's sick. Yeah. And people are saying that I'm a scammer and I never had anything bad and I'm just out here wrong, like lying on men and accusing men. So anyways, I tried to make his cultural food. I failed sometimes because I was just not used to it. I just didn't know anything about it, but I was trying and it wasn't enough. I was getting beaten for that too. I didn't speak Haitian Creole. I was getting beaten for that too. My French was not good because I didn't speak French for many, many years. I was getting beaten for that too. So I went to the church, the Haitian church where he went to church. And I tried, and they only spoke Haitian Creole. So eventually I started like learning everything and I could understand everything, but my speaking was not as good. And that was another point of contention where he's like, oh, well, these women, they speak Haitian Creole or they speak French better than you. And it's like, well, Jesus Christ, like I'm trying, like teach me, damn it. Like, and so like, I did everything. I went to counseling. They said I was disrespectful. I was rude. I went to counseling to try and fix all of the ways that I could have been rude. After the man confessed to cheating on me, in the messages, he's telling me that I better give him sex, and if not, he's going to rape me. As if I was withholding. I wasn't. He was actually the person that would withhold, which, obviously there's that disconnect anyways, but telling me that I must give it to him. And then when I'm talking normal, he's like, stop talking pretty much like a robot, put bae or daddy in there. So then in conversation, I instantly have to switch to my robotic form of because I'm trying to be as neutral as possible so that I don't agitate a fight, but nothing I say is correct. If it's emotion, it's not correct. If it was a robotic, methodical response that's like neutral, it's not correct. He's telling me, oh, you have to say bae, you have to say daddy. Okay, well, damn. You just told me you cheated on me, and then you told me you're going to rape me, and you tried. So, you're like, what the hell am I supposed to do? What the frick? And I had to stay calm the whole time. And this happened for years. And no one would do anything about it. So many pastors we talked to about it. So many people in the conference we talked to about it. I went to so many hospitals. I was in and out of the doctors. The doctor was giving me hormone replacement therapy treatment because of how much I was bleeding a year after the fact of miscarrying the child. That was in 2018. I went back to my medical records and stuff and even still have the bottle of medication, hormone replacement therapy medication they were giving me to stop the bleeding that I was experiencing because it was that bad. And he's there telling me he's going to rape me. Bro, the worst nightmare of women was my life. The worst nightmare of women was my life. You marry a guy who seems like a nice guy. He screws you over. Someone said, is this real? I promise you it's real. It's real. I have all the medical records. I have the text messages. I have the videos. I have the audios. I have his confessions. I posted them on X. You can go on my X page. I'm going to be posting more and the police are going to get them too. The medical records of the miscarriage are there too. The police are investigating that too. So, Best of Ray, go look in the link in my bio, go look at my X page, and you'll see the thread. We're going to be dropping more threads.
Yeah, we're going to do a stream about this.
We're going to do a stream about it. My dad's going to lay it out. My dad's going to lay it out better than I can. I'm just telling you, like, the backstory, the emotional backstory. Said, did he have mental, emotional, and spiritual illness? That's not normal behavior. He had some sort. He said he grew up with his father beating his wife, his mother, but it's not excuse. I grew up watching my mother around pimps, prostitutes, crazy as hell. He is, and I didn't do any of that. Like, and he didn't drink. What blows my mind is the fact that this man never drank alcohol. I never seen him take a single sip of alcohol. I never seen him smoke a single cigarette. I never seen him take a single puff of drugs.
Drink alcohol, she's still a devil.
But that's how worse it is. That's my point, how worse it is. Because usually sometimes people, they beat their wives when they're drunk, but not when they're sober. And they drop that. I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying that the lack of control comes from substance use. If someone has that level of lack of control without substance use, that is a terrifying individual. So I was always kind of trying to be like neutral, robotic, and I kept reaching out to people for help. Someone said, no excuse. Said, this story is evil. I can't even really listen because why hasn't he been arrested? Why? He said, why didn't your dad beat him up? No, my dad was across the country, and I couldn't tell my dad at the time what was going on because I was trying to figure this out. First of all, my dad told me not to marry this guy. He told me this would be the worst mistake of my life. And I had a little bit of pride, and I didn't for a while want to ask my dad for help. I was trying to go through all the other channels to deal with things because I felt bad. I felt bad because my dad was like, oh, it's going to be the worst mistake of your life. I said, no, he's nice. Don't worry about it. I was severely wrong. By the time he found out, my dad told me, by the time my dad found out what all this was going on, he told me to call the police. I called the police, and the police arrested him, and he went to jail. He got convicted. But then he didn't have to serve jail time. I don't know why they done that. So, and they had all the messages. They asked me about like the sexual stuff that he done and also the physical violence. They had the messages. He confessed over text that he knew that he killed our child, that it was his fault, that he killed the baby from all of the beatings that he was giving me. Someone said, oh, SIGT, he told you not to marry him, OMG. Yeah, but he said, shout out to your dad. Yeah, but I was away at college, so I thought because I was in person, and I was telling my dad, no, dad, you're not in person every day seeing this. Like, I'm in person with this person every day. Like, they're nice to me. My dad's like, that person is not nice. But this is like the scam of what college kind of teaches you. And then we were going through marriage counseling at the university, and the university said that we were perfectly matched. They did like some sort of testing and said that we were perfectly matched. So it's with a blank face.
Your kid off to school and they come back a communist.
Yeah, you send your kid off to school, they come back a communist. Yeah. And I trusted. I'm a very analytical person. I try to be. So when I went through the marriage counseling and also we done the testing, I was like, oh, the test obviously is not biased. The test is a test. So the test, if the I was stupid.
Let's be real. My ex-wife, she was also a demon, and she would get into physical fights with my daughter. She kicked her in the back
after I got into a car accident. Yeah.
Out of the house, and I got really mad about that. I was like, "What the hell are you doing, man?" Right?
Yeah, my dad's ex-wife was very abusive, and so I wouldn't be able to go back to their house anyways because she was extremely abusive. Someone said, oh, wow, respect to your dad. Analytics isn't intuition or God. You're right. I learned the hard way. And this is why when people are like, don't listen to your dad, I'm like, you can take those and shove it where the sun don't shine and like go straight to hell, because I know the consequences of not listening to my father, because every single time in my life I didn't listen to my dad, very bad things happened. Like extremely bad things happened. So it's like, I understand the value of listening to God, your father, and a good husband. When you have a good husband, like a good man in your life, like the submission of the structure of what God says, because obviously mine was not good. But anyways, we're at school. Now, we ended up in 2019, we ended up going back to school again, whatever. Around Christmas break, he was saying that he wanted us to separate. So I went looking for my own place so that for next semester come around, I can have like a place to stay and still go to school and whatever. I was looking for work, all these things, because I'm like, I'm going to be by myself. I just need to figure things out. I was even thinking about going back to Saskatchewan and taking classes at the university in Saskatchewan, because my dad was saying, Kaysha, you might want to just come out here and get, some time for yourself and just like, think about what you need to do and focus. And I was like, yeah, okay. But his wife refused to let me come.
Ex-wife now.
His ex-wife at the time, yeah, refused to let me come. So that option just cut off. My ex-husband, he emptied our bank accounts. So then I had no money. He took all of the money and went back to Montreal, left me stranded in Alberta, went back to Montreal with his family, used the money to go cheat on me with people. While he was there, told me that he was cheating and that I better call him all these things and that he's going to rape me if I don't give sex to him. And even if he's not living with me, if he comes to have sex with me, I better just give it to him or he'll rape me. And I'm stranded in Alberta with no money. I'm at my granny's house trying to find a way where I can still get a place set up for me to have a place to stay when school starts in the winter semester or the spring semester, January, whatever, from when Christmas break ends. He comes back, tells me I have to pick him up. I managed to actually find a place and scavenge a few dollars together and then work something out with the lady where when student loan comes in, I'd give her the rest. He did not set up a place for him to stay at all. He squandered all the money and then told me I had to come pick him up in a different city. I was in Lacombe for like where the university was. I was going to go in Red Deer and he was in Calgary. So go to drive 2 hours to go get him from the airport. And when I brought him back, then he tells me he doesn't have a place to stay. So then I'm like, it's the dead of winter. If I now, as your wife, I'm thinking, if I put him on the street right now, I'm going to be liable. So I was like, you know what? Fine. You can come stay with me until you find a place and just deal with that. Like we don't have to talk nothing. You can just stay with me and until you find someone like a friend that you can stay with or whatever.
This guy beat her like on a regular basis.
Yeah, he
like 200 times.
He beat me consistently. I can't remember a single week of the marriage that I went without getting beaten in some capacity, strangled or punched in the face, whatever. So anyways, within just a couple of days of him staying with me, just like he said he was going to try and do, I had to be sexually intimate with him, and he also was beating me. And then he put me in the hospital with how badly he beat me. And then he was convicted by the police. He beat me so badly. He ripped my clothes off of my body and my underwear. Like when the police came to take pictures, they took pictures of the bruises and my ripped clothing that were on the floor. And then I was taken to the hospital.
Then when she was in the hospital,
someone said, wow, you were extremely nice. Yeah, and then when I was in the hospital, they were giving me a cocktail of drugs, saying that I wasn't going to be allowed to leave the inside area if I didn't take their cocktail of drugs. Or they would strap you. They had they were mixed sex in the hospital, so the person who was sleeping across from me was in the room that was strapped down, constantly being drugged because he was banging his head on the door saying help me, because whatever the hell they were doing to him in there and drugging him. So they're telling you that that's going to be you if you don't take these drugs.
And the drugs were making her worse. And then
the drugs were making me worse.
People started to sexually assault her inside of the place.
Yeah, and the people there, and then he just ended up telling me, you're such a filthy whore that you can't even control yourself in the facility. You have to be sexual with people in the facility. Well, I'm literally blacking out. I'm walking in the hospital. The drugs were so heavy, I would be walking mid-stride and black out. And I'm sure there's camera footage for that hospital, mind you.
When I went to go visit my daughter, help her to go in that situation, my ex-wife and her parents told me not to go.
Yeah. And you know what? The university, the Pastor Maciel at the time, she came to the hospital to visit me and knew what was going on. They did nothing to Dave. He was convicted.
But
They
you're a
said he
victim of domestic violence. They should have never put you in that hospital.
Yes, but they said, what were the drugs for? It makes no sense. Were these pain meds? No, they were not pain meds.
They were antipsychotics.
They gave me antipsychotic medication, a whole handful cocktail of medications. And my dad had to bring information to show like there's nothing wrong with me. The only thing I have is ADHD and that I shouldn't be on those things. Anyways, the pastor from the local church university, Berman University, used to be called CUC, depends on where, whenever you were there. But for the Adventists that listen, because I know you guys listen, you crufty bastards. Anyways, Maciel came to visit me in the hospital, didn't do anything to Dave. The school didn't do anything. In fact, they made it easier and more comfortable for him to continue going to school there and studying pastoral ministry, despite the fact that he was convicted of beating me and putting me in the hospital. Then a professor came and he talked to me while I was there, Dr. Isaac Darko. There was a few people that come from there and visit and nothing happened. They just covered it up. He is now back, apparently, allegedly. He's allegedly now back at that university studying. And the church that I had a membership to from childhood, that's down the street from my house, walking distance, the man is going to that church now, doing music ministry while he studies alleged pastoral ministry back at the university. You can't make this stuff up. And they know that I have membership there. I've never had a different membership at any church in my life.
Before all that happened with him coming here, after my daughter got beaten, I went to go take her out of the hospital. My mom actually brought her over to me, and my ex-wife told me that if I bring my daughter there and to North Battleford, the marriage is over. And I said, do what you need to do. I don't even give a damn. I'm going to help my kid. And so then she previously, and I'm going to put this out, that she was plotting with the pastor to divorce me should I bring Kaysha to help her. And they were talking about this whole scenario.
Yes, they said if my dad takes me out of the situation with Dave to come to help me and let me live with him, that his wife will divorce him if he helps me from getting away from Dave.
From my position from the church and all these types of things. And this is then when I brought my daughter there, my ex-wife attacked Kaysha in the church. She was cursing and screaming so loud, the entire church service shut down.
And after she attacked me, I ended up again in the hospital. And there's a hospital record of that as well. They had to give me IV and everything.
And I called the police, and one of the guys there, his name was Cyprian, talked me out of getting her arrested. They're like, "Oh,
saying the church will deal with it.
We don't do that to each other. We'll work it out." And these are the same guys that turned around and stabbed me in the back. And then my little daughter, she was going crazy. She was pulling her hair out and stuff like that. And I called the crisis line, and they said, I'm going to go over to my family's for the weekend and then sort it out because I'm done with this. And then I was preparing to go, and then came to get some clothes. And then I went to go meet somebody before I left, but my mom was there at the house, and the locks were changed. And so I was like, what the hell? So I turned around, knocked back in there, and then my ex-wife says, you're going to have to fight me if you're going to leave with care. So I said, okay. I called the police, and they came. And then they set up a mediation because she's like, I'm not doing all this stuff. And then went ahead and called the police preemptively to try to start making reports on me. And so then the mediation, the people at the church tried to tell me that I should take my daughter and put her in a homeless shelter to satisfy my ex-wife at the time. And I said, are you nuts? And then they tried to use my little daughter as leverage to force me to do that. to my older daughter, and I was like, "What do you guys want? My life? Like, what kind? Why would you do that to someone?"
Yeah, someone said I never knew such a story could exist on Earth. Might as well sign out from Earth. So
And
what is wrong with these people? They are demonic.
and then after that, when this is where we ended up going through all the stuff with the COVID, and then I got arrested, and Kaysha and I got arrested going inside of the church, and I mean church court in the side of the court, and then when Kaysha got out, that's where Robert took her out to Black Diamond and raped her while he was being strapped to the bed again and drugged. And Kaysha was literally pissing herself
Yeah.
because of the stress of everything that was going on. And he still took advantage of her.
Yeah.
And then he took her to the States and handed her over to the border guards like they hand over those children at the southern border. And she got trafficked, and they forced her to live with single American men. And she got drugged, beaten, raped, and trafficked. Robert then sexually assaulted her again after I got taken into custody at the border and taken to Colorado. Went directly to South Carolina, raped her
again.
And then when she went to report it in Florida, after Robert tried to sexually assault her again, and she went to report, but the RCMP wanted her to report. That's when that blonde nurse Lisa came and picked her up.
Yeah.
And that woman tried to groom my daughter with her husband.
Yes.
Ever see those two people? They won't be breathing.
Yes. And you know what? Robert, he knew what my ex-husband, like why I was at my dad's house. He knew what was going on. He knew everything. He knew everything.
Anyway.
And in the audio where he confessed, we showed you guys on the stream the other day where he confessed to sexually assaulting me, manipulating, taking advantage of me. He verbally confessed. We showed that on our stream the other day. In that same audio, because we could only show you 3 minutes because obviously we have it's a short time frame our show. But the audio that we sent to the police, he talks about the fact that he knows my husband. He can't tell him, I can't tell your husband I took advantage of you right now because I don't know what kind of resentful state he's in. And I just, he would just lose it. I can't talk to him about that right now. I just don't feel convicted to do that. Like, he demonstrated so much capacity of knowing what the situation was and what was going on. And he done it anyways.
When I sent that out to the
Someone said, I understand why you're so reserved and want to keep peace after seeing your post. Thank you.
When I sent that out to the police, I told the police, I said, you guys better catch him before I see him. Because honestly, if I see that man, it will not end well for him. It will not end well for him.
Yep.
Because all those people that are running around talking that smack, none of them would come in my face and do that, because I would rip them to pieces. Because you want to protect people that do this kind of filth, and rapists who prey on people in that situation.
And
all of them deserve the electric chair.
And everyone was like, oh, she just wants to get a U visa in the US. She's just taking advantage of good white American people. Well, I'll tell you right now, he confessed to raping me in Canada, and we showed that audio, and the police have that audio now. The police also have all the information of what my husband did to me. They're going to get all the medical records of what happened to me across Canada. And in the States. And then all of that stuff that happened to me, and I was pretty much, I was like, I'm surprised I'm alive. When I went to the doctor in Saskatchewan, when I was with my dad, the doctor had to force me on medical leave because they forced me into work. I had to get a job at Walmart. And I ended up, they promoted me to security instantly within like the first couple days of being there. I started out doing stalking or whatever. Physical stalking. After all the state of myself, and the doctor that I left the hospital told me I needed to be months on bed rest. Then when I went to Saskatchewan, the doctor, when I was working, he was like, I'm taking you medical leave right now because with everything I'm seeing and checking my body, testing and everything, he was like, I can't believe that you're actually standing. So he forced me medical leave, and then I had to go government assistance until I could start work at the provincial government at the maximum security prison and hospital for the criminally and mentally insane. And even when I was working there, I was like a walking, like I was on borrowed time, bro. I was going I went to work, I went gym and came home and literally slept. But when we had my sister, I would be helping take care of my sister, whatever, and that was like a happy time for me, just, having some peace or whatever. Then the government tortures me because my dad decides to expose what they've done with the COVID corruption, damages my wrist and forearm. I couldn't feel it for an entire more than a year after the fact. I was literally pissing myself from fear because of what they did to me in those 8 days. I was searched under my clothes by 6 or 7 male officers, interrogated all day on rotation in a room with multiple people outside of the 6 or 7 male officers that were trying to force and coerce me, while also telling me that if I didn't cooperate with them, they were going to take me out of province to be in a cell with criminals, and if something happens to me along the way, they can't help me. That's torture. And then after I get out, they tell me your car's been stolen. In the video of our arrest, the guy who shows his face, that's the rapist Robert Cannon, the dual citizen of Canada and the US. In that same video, you hear the RCMP saying, "Take your car." It was my car. They gave that man my car, and then he gave it to someone else. I reported it stolen. When I got out, I had no house, no car, bank accounts were shut down, nowhere to go. This guy takes me out of nowhere. I'm pissing myself in fear and also have no physical capacity, and I get raped.
Said that he was my son-in-law.
Yeah, on the occurrence report, they said he's my...
The guy that rapes my daughter, you're going to say that it's my son-in-law?
Yeah.
A lot of nerve.
Yeah.
And then the RCMP, we did the occurrence reports, and I showed all the times that I tried to report this crime or help Kaysha report it, and they all tried to say I was crazy. I didn't make sense, or any of this stuff made no sense. And then they created a narrative to say that I was, trying to make it look like I was crazy, like I reported the stuff stolen when I didn't. And then they showed the video of them showing up to the house and then giving me back this stuff.
Yeah,
and
but
they never saw me.
Yeah, but you're gonna go through all that on there. That's not really so.
I'm talking about when the police made the stuff so that they can make sure that you didn't get help.
Yeah. And then when I reported the car was stolen, the insurance company did nothing. The bank did nothing, even though the car was still technically their car. So they've gone on this entire time not getting paid for the car. They know where the car is. I don't. They have tracking system on the car. That was a 2017 Volkswagen Jetta titanium gray. No one has done anything. The insurance won't do anything with the car. The bank won't do anything with the car. And the owners, the dealership won't even touch the car because they know. So the car's just sitting wherever it's sitting. Just chilling on life. So I was stripped of everything. Guy comes, takes me in the middle of nowhere. My dad's being drugged to all high hell in another facility, can barely string together a sentence. He's losing control of his bladder and his bowels, whatever, because of how badly he's being drugged. He could not even stay standing up properly. This guy confesses to what he done after taking me to the middle of nowhere and doing that. Tries to act like to these people in America that I'm a seductress. Who the hell is seducing in that state? What is seduction? I don't know the art. I promise you I don't know the art. Somebody teach me. I didn't know that a woman who was pissing herself was so seductive. Bro, I was having accidents every night as a grown woman because of what happened. That's so sexy, right? And then he's telling me on the audio, I have it on the audio where I said, you said in private that you want authority and control over me that you don't deserve. And he's there talking about the authority and control he's trying to put over me. Bro, what? A girl without any mobility, barely any mobility in her arm, She has no physical strength or mobility because of how badly she was beaten and abused for the last couple of years and still recovering from bleeding over a year from a miscarriage and the constant abuse from her ex-husband or current husband at the time because he wouldn't sign the papers. And then, but I'm just so seductive in that state. What the actual F? And people will do so many mental gymnastics when you're a nigger. And I'm not, like Dave Chappelle said in that one skit. They were like, he's like, why is it okay for me to say nigger but not them or whatever? And then he was like, well, because you're black, or he's pretty much implied because he was black. And he was like, well, I'm not a nigger either. Like, you know, but when people see you that way, that's what it is. They'll do all the mental gymnastics in the world and they'll be like, oh, she's just grifting, she just wants money. Someone who just wants money wasn't going to the hospital over and over again asking for help, going to the conference over and over again asking for help, in and out of the doctor's office, literally pleading to people for physical health, help to stay alive, and also help from the church. And not a single person did anything. And the proof is in the medications and the kind of treatment they had to give me for the abuse. And when they arrested Dave and I was in the hospital, the doctors that I was seeing in Lacombe told me that they knew he was abusing me, and they put a report saying that they knew this man was abusive, but he wouldn't, they didn't, because of the way that I had to come to the doctor's office all the time, the things they were treating me for, and the fact that they said, oh, we just couldn't help you because he was in the room with you all the time. It's like you could have asked him to leave. But they documented that they knew he was abusing me as doctors, because doctors are trained to know these things, especially when they're constantly treating you for certain things that just doesn't make sense. And I checked my fertility consistently with these doctors. They consistently checked my fertility, and they kept telling me, your fertility is perfectly fine. You don't have to worry about having any kids, like not having kids. You will have kids. He said they were just like in the right time, because Dave was also gaslighting me after killing the kid and even confessing that he killed it, that, oh, it's just a you problem. It's your health. It's a you problem. The doctors were like, your fertility is actually really great. It's perfectly fine.
You know what the funny thing is? They were talking about me.
And there's documents, like I said, medical records, loads.
Talking about getting me removed from my positions and stuff like that in the church. But Dave was beating the hell out of
And now he's back at the at the church performing.
But they never took him out of school.
They let him back into school as a convicted.
They never removed him from school in the first place.
Yes, and then they let him back in, because you know what? When you're in those programs, you're not supposed to have a record of any kind like that. You can't be a domestic violence abusing vulnerable sectors people, and then go and do this. He that kind of abuse, you're not allowed. You're just not allowed, and they're letting these people. He would tell me that he was, first of all, domestic violence, that's a no. He would also tell me that he was beating me because I had ADHD, and he was irritated by the fact that I had ADHD, and he would notice the mistakes that I would make as an ADHD person, just being forgetful. Like that I was just not as quick with some things, or I just couldn't do certain things. And I would try my best, and I would do different things to try and fix certain things, but I mean, I didn't think I deserved to be punched in the face. Again, I have the video and audios of these things and the text messages of these things. The kind of person that attacks vulnerable people and is convicted is not allowed to go into pastoral ministry. They're not supposed to be allowed to. Not only did they let him back in, but like my dad said, they didn't remove him from the course at school. They just let him continue as if nothing happened. The church, a lot of the stuff the church is doing is absolutely disgusting, and they want to act like, oh, it's a family matter, oh, it's just family dispute, or oh, they're just going around lying. Okay, so the doctors are lying too. The doctors and all their reports across Canada, none of them knew each other. The doctors in Montreal, in Nova Scotia, in New Brunswick, in Saskatchewan, and Alberta, they're all lying. All of the doctors are lying. All of their different reports that line up are all lying. all of the record of doctor visits I did, even talking about the abuse, asking for people to help me. I told doctors and hospitals in Montreal that Dave was beating me. Didn't get any help. Didn't.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
there's-
all of that leading up to me being trafficked by this next person, they also confessed that they talk. The Robert person and Dave, and in his audio, he said he has to talk to Dave and he will speak to him in person. So these people, again, it was on audio out of his mouth. And I have emails and messages from Dave talking about his communication with Robert. So all of these people in communication, and then I get trafficked to the States. I get in that state. I get put in a prison for 7 months as if I was an undocumented migrant child, and then forced under contract to live with single American men under full surveillance tracking by the United States government, ICE, and DHS when I was fully documented. Canadian passport, driver's license, birth certificate, long and short form originals, which most people do not have anymore. My native card from my tribe, as well as my marriage certificate. I brought the marriage certificate to the border with me. And Robert, remember, like I said, they put on the occurrence report, the RCMP in Saskatchewan, saying that Robert was my dad's son-in-law, saying that I was married to Robert. I brought all of my documents of evidence showing who I was married to and what was going on. They took everything, concealed everything, treated me like I was an undocumented migrant child, threw me in the facility, and then forced me to live with those men or whatever. And of course, I was released, like I said, March 31st of 2021. I went to the border October 1st of 2020. I was released March 31st, 2021, because my dad hounded the Canadian consulate long enough. They confirmed my Indigenous status and they had to release me.
This tells you that right now that those people who are coming after me and my daughter, they have a full well knowledge of why what they're doing is wrong.
Yes, they
because
do.
When anybody gives us a platform to speak, they come out in droves and harass the hell out of them.
Yeah.
Threaten them with legal action and all these things to try to get people to not platform us and to cut us off. Like, I mean, they've destroyed us because they don't want this to come out. Well, they're getting investigated, but this needs to become public because these guys are connected to the traffickers inside of the government.
Yeah.
The judges, the police, the elected officials. And this is what they're protecting because this comes out, these people are going down.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking for no civil nothing. This is
that's criminal.
Charges.
They need to go to jail. And said none of that should have happened. No, it shouldn't. But I dealt with all of that before going to the United States. And then once I was in the United States, I was drugged, raped, beaten, held at gunpoint, and isolated from everyone for 5 years. In 5 years, I didn't imagine going 5 years without having a single genuine touch from human beings. Every single touch that you have is someone trying to kill you or abuse you. You know, science say that you need 8 hugs a day or human touch a day to be healthy. I went 5 years isolated, and everybody was nitpicking at every single little thing that I did that was wrong. Every small thing, that any error or a mistake I made, and people were coming around saying, you need to justify your humanity. Show me the evidence of your abuse. Random ass Americans coming to me in the conservative movement and otherwise, show me the evidence of your abuse, or else I'm going to abuse you further. What the actual hell? Because they know I was homeless and I was on the street and I didn't have anyone around me. So the only way I could get out of that scenario was to prove my humanity and my innocence and the abuse, or else that person across from me was going to directly punish me. And it happened time and time again. And nobody did anything. I was making countless police reports and no one would do anything. And no one gave a shit either because I'm not white.
People were going in droves to harass people to stop things from happening. And these people were all connected. They all mentioned each other and they all
they have spaces together online. They literally work with convicted abusers and rapists.
Pedophiles.
Yeah, convicted pedophiles, convicted abusers, rapists. Like, these are the people that they're gathering together with to come after me and destroy me, to hunt me down and say that I'm the bad person. I'm the grifter because I'm homeless. I have nothing. I've been destroyed the last 10 years.
And they financially destroyed me.
And when I ask for help, it's like, oh, this grifter, this evil demon, oh, she just wants money. I promise you, if I wanted money, I would not be asking you demons for help. I would not need your freaking help because I'd be out here committing crime.
Well, yes, and they stole my house, everything I owned, on July 23rd, and they kept stealing from me every single time. So I couldn't help my daughter. So I had to sit over here just knowing that my daughter's getting passed around to all these people. There's not a damn thing I can do about it while I'm getting sacked 6 ways from Sunday here in this country. And all of those people, like I'll say it right now, like Sarah Nicholson, who's been running around talking smack, she's going to find out when the police come and haul her away. Because she's been helping traffickers, rapists, and the worst human beings on planet Earth to destroy me while people are trafficking and trying to murder my kid.
And while this is all happening in the U.S., my ex-husband was coming after me in the court, divorce court, saying that I have to pay him. I'm on the street and homeless, and he's coming after me saying that I have to pay him for the divorce, and he's not signing until I pay him. And I had car accidents since I was in grade 12 in 2015, and every year for 5 years I had a car accident. The first one was with a semi truck. I almost didn't graduate grade 12. But I ended up thugging it out. So he said that I needed to pay him the money for all of the 5 accidents I had, because his mother said that she should get $50,000 from the car accidents that I went through. I don't know why the hell or where the hell she even got the number, but she said she should get $50,000. He was determined that he was not going to divorce me until he got all the money from the car accidents I've been through. I didn't see a single dime. I don't even know what the hell happened to it. Then finally, when I got out of the detention, he told me, there's like flies in here. Then when I got out of the detention, he said that in America, he contacted me and said he got the accident money. He told me he got the accident money and he'll share it with me if I turn on my dad and accuse my dad and put him in jail. I called my dad. I told him what happened. He's like, no, don't speak to him ever again. The man's like a whole traitor, like a full traitor. Like, I was like, oh, true? Okay. And then I just didn't speak to him ever again. And then I just went through with the divorce. And I said, I don't want anything. I don't want anything. Just give me the signature. I literally just want my peace. I literally just want my freedom. Just let me sign. And he was determined to drag it out, because the longer he dragged it out, the more money that I had to spend. So the little money that I did have when I did have it, for the time period that I was allowed to work in the US, I couldn't even build enough money to get myself to a stable place, because he was draining me in Canada, and the rest of the money was going to the traffickers that I was forced to live with to do the filth that they wanted me to do. And again, it was under contract because it was an ISAP program. And I still have all the documents from that ISAP program. If you're Hispanic, you'll call it ESAP. But it's ISAP. It's a supervisor program where you're forced to live with Americans until they figure out what they want to do with you.
That's 100% trafficking.
Yeah. And this was public. But who cares about minorities? Black people are awful. He said, the guy Robert, he's like, I don't ever need evidence. I'm white, blonde hair, blue eyed. He used to say that he said I don't have to record anything. I'm white.
Your face all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he made sure that we were connected with a bunch of racist people that wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Right?
And they do. Because everyone's like, oh, all black people are this, all black people are that. Everyone hates black men. Everyone is like, oh, nigger this, nigger that for black men.
Not everybody, but
the racist people.
Yes.
Until it comes to the black man trying to kill and rape and traffic another black woman or an indigenous woman or a minority woman, then they don't care. Because when it was the Ukrainian immigrant girl who got stabbed, which was disgusting, she should have never even had to been in the situation to flee to a country she'd never been to and be alone like that. That's evil. But when they kill a white girl who's not even North American, they make laws. They make laws for her. She's all over the news. Everyone is talking about how evil black people are and how evil people are. But when it's a white man who's working with loads of people and white women who come to me with pit bull, machete, duct tape, rope, paraphernalia, she had a man down the road, another white man down the road that she wanted to meet up with who was sure to probably kill me if she didn't get arrested. Because I don't know how I was going to fend against the two of them with all of those weapons and the pit bull. And then the pit bull put me in the hospital for attacking me with other pit bulls. So when it's a white man, it's, oh, whatever. She's a liar. She's a whore. Oh, I know things you don't know. Get bent. Whatever you know, take it and shove it up your ass, honestly. I don't care anymore. I can't stand any of you. The fact that people actually go around acting like they care and then they're dealing with people who are, I never in my life thought to myself, this person, I want to deal with this person is hunting someone down. I can see the behavior is weird. Since I was a kid, if I saw everyone targeting one person, I became friends with that person because I wanted to know for myself what was going on. There was a girl in school who became popular because everyone was bullying her since elementary. But when I came to the school, I became friends with her to investigate myself. I liked her, got her in with everyone else, and they started being her friend. She later betrayed me and decided that she didn't need me anymore to be cool. And she went and did her own thing, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. People should investigate for themselves. And nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to work with me or talk with me about stuff. I ask for help because I genuinely need help. I have people coming after me consistently trying to kill me. This man is back in my vicinity within walking distance of my house on the weekends, going to the church that I hold a membership at, allegedly. I hold the membership, but him coming and doing his stuff with the church, allegedly. And it's screw me. Like, people are constantly putting themselves in vicinity to me, but it's screw me. Bro, man, bro. Yo! I can't believe this. I ask for help. I'm the scammer. I ask for help. I'm the bad guy. I ask for help. I'm one of these thirsty ass stupid hoes that just want money from like random men and women and take advantage. I'm pretending to be homeless. I'm pretending to be suffering because I want money. But when you want to fly girls out, when men want to fly girls out just to sleep with them, those girls aren't hoes. Those girls aren't like prostitutes. Those girls aren't scammers. Me, who's been hunted, I'm the scammer. Who has nothing. I've been trying my best to work and do all these things, trying to even go to school to escape, finding any means of escape. And it's not enough. Nothing that you do is enough ever for the wrong people.
When it comes to the law enforcement, I don't give a what. Anybody who did wrong, I'm just giving it all to them and they can sort it out because I got no mercy for nobody. You want to do that kind of filth? And this is why I sit down and say, when I see people that are doing this to people's kids, I got no mercy for them. And I'll help them because I know what it's like. I don't have no love for none of these people that are doing this kind of stuff. And this is what's happening all over the place. Because I look at it this way. If we fight this hard, how many people are just giving into this because they're not fighting?
The people who are trying to kill me the most are feminists. Someone said, you're strong. I am. Thank you. The grace of God and my father. And recent men. But the people who try to kill me the most are feminist women. Because the thing that they spout out of their mouth morning, noon, and night being terrified of, I lived through. But I'm not sitting here like I want revenge and going out and doing the filth that they're doing, trying to kill children and all this other stuff. Despite everything that I went through, I wasn't like, I'm going to kill my own kid. I was like, I'm going to have to find a way to like get me and this kid straight. But it was too late. I failed in that area. It was what it was. I had to accept that. But all of the things that these women talk about, being afraid of marrying a guy and him using money over her, I showed the messages where he was like, I know you're not going anywhere because you don't have any money and you don't have anywhere to go. So I know you're not going to call the police. I experienced that. That's what feminists is scared of the most. Marrying a guy who's constantly going to cheat on you, and the whole relationship he's been cheating, done that. A man who's rubbing it in your face, done that. A man who's going to threaten to rape you and force you into rape in marriage, and does that. Literally the confession messages of him threatening to rape me, and then the argument showing where he actually tried in the middle of the night and I had a panic, obviously, and then he's telling me I don't give a F. And then also being scared of the man who's going to come home on a random Tuesday and beat the hell out of you because he's just had a bad day, or he's going to come home on a random Tuesday, see that the place is a mess or something's not cooked, and beat the hell out of you. And the mess that was a mess could have been like a few papers on the freaking table. Like it wasn't an actual mess. It's like it was just any reason to beat the hell out of you. Everything that a feminist is terrified, that they spew that they're terrified about, that they've never experienced in their life, I actually experienced all of it. Every single aspect of it. And the reason they try to kill me the most is because my father actually is proof of the solution to feminism. Because I didn't come out saying, oh, I want to destroy men and all this other stuff, and I hate all men, and men are evil and disgusting and blah, blah, blah. No. I came out on the other end actually saying the best protection for women in all of these scenarios is God, a good father, and then a future husband. A father that creates the foundation for you, and another man who comes and builds on it. That is the best chance that you have in life. And the fact that I came out better than any of these women, and they all constantly come to me, oh, teach me, Kaysha, how you do this. I cannot teach you, because I have men that I am relying on for support that literally just give me the answers in the circumstance, and I use them in a feminine capacity. I cannot teach you because I'm not a man. I do not create circumstances. I literally take the information, the advice, or whatever help I'm getting, and I use it the way a female is built to do, the way God has built female to do. I am living proof that feminism can end and can be destroyed, and they cannot stand that. Because if people saw women like me, women would be very different. Because a lot of women want the answers to their problems, but they're being gaslit into oblivion. And that's why I'm being suppressed like this, because I would help loads of people, and so would my father. If men saw me and based on what my father was doing, they would switch up quick. They would switch up quick, because men watch actions. They don't care about words. They don't care about words. When men see what my dad is, what I've done, they're like, I need to speak to your dad. I need to talk to your dad. Show me your dad. And when they do, they're like, man, you're amazing. And they're like, tell me how. We have people come on the stream all the time asking, oh, your dad is healing me. That's why I come here. They don't even see my dad's face. They just hear him talking in the back. They're like, yo, I just come for your dad. And that's what's up. I like that. But that's why the people are coming after me so heavily, because feminists don't want accountability, because they know that the hardest thing a woman can do after this situation is to still believe in God, believe in man, like your father, and a future husband. Choosing to believe that you deserve peace, you deserve healing, and that you deserve to be around people who care about the best for you and your well-being, and that they're going to be there for you to support you and to care for you. Choosing to believe in that makes feminists angry, because they don't want to believe that men are like that, especially after having that time and time and time again, one after the other, literally, and not a damn person cared at all. People laughed me to scorn online all the time. People still mock me while stealing my content, mind you. Cowards. Cowards. But everything we do and everything that I am is proof that women can win over even the very evil things that they're spewing that they're afraid of. But the only way that they will have the most success is if they have God, a good father, the foundation, and a future husband. That is their only chance, and they don't want to submit. They want to rebel. They want to be Jezebels, and that's why they're doing this. So the Jezebels are going around and finding ways to try and kill me. And men are sitting by and watching, just letting it happen. Like, okay, well, whatever. And when I'm dead, because eventually I'll die, because you cannot do this forever, especially not without any help. When I die, nobody will be able to replicate what we're doing. And they don't, because no one is doing what we're doing. And no female on the planet is doing what I'm doing. Nor could they, because they don't have a father like mine. I don't care how much God you have. If you don't have the father foundation, you're cooked unless you're a man. Men can come up with that foundation themselves because men create circumstances. Men figure that out. A woman will not. And they know that. Which is why they keep coming to me, oh, Kaysha, just teach me how you do this, and we can teach other people. No, you can't. Because the thing I'm going to teach you is submission, and you don't want any part in that, and that's why you will always lose. You will always lose. Whether I die or not, you will never get what you want. And you will never win over men. You will never, ever win over men. You will continue to suffer, and your own ideologies will fail you, as they have been, and you will be miserable until the day you die. Whereas I at least will know that I gave everything, and my legacy of who I am and what I am will live in the actions of who I was and what I was. Whereas you cowards, you filthy cowards, can have legacy for hundreds of years, and it will be useless. Absolutely useless. Because what have you produced? What will you produce? All the best. All the best to you, my friends. All the best. This world is an evil place. This world is a genuinely, genuinely evil place. And all of those police, like I said, they had the evidence. They had the evidence. Imagine, and this is also why people are complaining, why is there so much black violence in the streets? Because black people know if they go to the police for help and they have evidence, it's not going to matter. No one's going to do anything for them. Everyone's like, oh, we have black fatigue. Black people been fatigued. What you're seeing is a result of black people having fatigue for everyone else, abusing the hell out of them. I'm not agreeing with it because I never did it. Despite everything I went through, I never did those actions, but I had a good father. I had a good foundation. I had someone to rely on. I had someone to remind me that I had value and they cared about me, and I was watching them do things to fight for me. Most of these people don't have that. So they're going to rely to the streets. They're going to go to gangs, which is funny because when it's black people, it's gangs. When it's the Italians, when it's the Jews, when it's the Polish, it's mafia. It's fancy. It's fancy. It's the mafia. It's high class. When it's black people, it's the gangs. They turn to street violence because nobody helps them. And I was thinking about it today. I was like, how many people did they get away doing this with before cell phones were invented? Nobody would have believed me if I didn't have the audios, the videos, the text. Some people still even don't. They're like, F you, just because I'm not white and all they care about is white women. Screw you. I don't care. Racist bastards. As if they wouldn't come for you and your kids. Retards. Look at the way they're going after Trump. He's white, but now he's an honorary nigger as far as everyone is concerned because he doesn't bend to the filth. Nevertheless, how many people did they get away doing this filth to black people and minorities, natives, and all these other people, skewing the numbers because they didn't have cell phones or recording devices to catch these people in their filth at the time, having to go around doing their own investigation with rapists and pedophiles, forced to get information because the police refused to do their job. I have no trust or belief that any of the numbers that black people are the highest committers of crime. That is bullshit to me. I do not believe that. There's no way in hell, after everything that I've seen the last couple of years and the way they destroy people of color, and they don't believe them because they just have black fatigue. Well, you think when people come out of slavery and they come out of residential schools and all this other crap, you think they're not fatigued? You think they weren't fatigued and you told them, get over it. So if you're fatigued by black people, get over it. Conquerors, shut up. But they don't. They can't conquer, because when you torture people for that long and they overcome it, black people in America are the strongest people in the West right now. As much as people complain about their filth, they have more strength physically, mentally, and emotionally than the white people do. Because they've been going through this filth for generations, and they've had to push harder than everybody else. And when they make it to the top, nobody can compete with them. Even the ones at the bottom. People at the top couldn't compete with me. People at the top, millionaires were trying to take me out. Millionaires were passing me around, and they couldn't compete with me. And I'm homeless. I had no money. I had nothing. And nobody could compete with me. Tell me why. You can't. You can't. Because you don't know the solution. You can't fix your own problems. You don't know how to raise children. You can't keep your women in check. You're complaining that your women are sleeping with all these minorities. If you were keeping your families in check and were weak cucks, they wouldn't be betraying you like that. You are the cause of your own problems. And because you cannot overthrow your problems, and you can't conquer the way you say your ancestors did, you go around doing filth in private and letting everybody believe that the people you hate are the worst, but you loathe them because you cannot beat them. And they live rent-free in your mind, and they will forever. Because what you hate is not the person sitting across from you. You hate what the person represents that you will never be. And that is a prison I wouldn't wish on anybody.
You know what? When people find out what these people did, they're going to be the most hated people on planet Earth. Because people are going to be like, why did you kill my children? Why did you kill my family because of this?
And I was coming with a solution with my dad. Despite everything, I decided to sacrifice myself and do the right thing. I could have said to hell with everyone and F everybody. I came out and took the risk of exposing the bioterrorism, which is coming out now, which is everyone's talking about it now, about all this stuff on the news. Kash Patel, everybody saying how Canada is the worst threat to the United States. Years ago, before it was popular, before it was cool, before lockdowns, I was coming out with my dad and exposing the stuff, the engineering. I took the risk, and I done that to do the right thing, despite my position, despite everything I just gone through. And I just kept continuously getting kicked in the teeth. And people are like, oh, no, that's not valuable. We don't need her stuff, whatever. Screw you. Screw you. What are you, an influencer? You have value because you have clicks and numbers behind you? You're an influencer? Get bent. Get bent. Get out of my face. I'm sorry. I don't care. And then I'm coming as a Christian and a whistleblower and giving this information to the government, and they just decide to double down on filth. People in government told us, you were the wrong skin color. That's the problem. Because if you were a white man, this would have never happened. White people in government in America told us that. And they were right. Because if we were white, this would have never happened.
Because the media portrays a certain thing.
Yeah, the media only wants you to see all the black people on the street doing violence to the white people. They don't want to show you the amount of white people that get away with doing filth to black people and minorities, the amount of pedophiles and rapists they let walk free.
But if you let a pedophile go, pedophile doesn't care what race.
No, it's raping everybody. They don't care.
So this is why I can't stand racism.
I can't stand racism.
Black or anybody. You're gonna let pedophiles go free. Pedophiles rape kids of any race.
And
you're basically helping pedophiles, and I can't stand that.
And all the while this is happening, people are coming after me, telling me that I need to accuse certain people of such crimes and whatever. A woman on a random bad day can have a bad day and randomly accuse a man of something he's never done. And we've seen it. We've seen it online. We've seen it online with influencers. A woman will just have one random bad day and randomly start accusing a man of something he'd never done. And they do it. And we've seen it. It's well documented. And all the hell that I went through, and the people that were coming around me, telling me to accuse certain people of this and that and tar and the other, and punishing me for not doing it by passing me around. And I'd not done it once. And everyone thinks that I did things because I like people or have personal fond feelings of affection for them. No. Rather, if someone is telling you to abuse somebody and you know it's the wrong thing to do, you have only one choice. If you're a good person, you have one choice: to show that person love and compassion. If you are an evil person, perhaps you have two choices: either throw them under the bus and commit egregious acts of evil, or show love and compassion, in which case you wouldn't. You would just commit egregious acts of evil because you're a weak, evil coward and spineless. But because I'm not that person and I was raised by a decent father, I chose love and compassion. And everyone made fun of me and mocked me and jeered me for years, thinking that I had just fond feelings of affection of all these people who were spitting in my face because I was defending them and their natural right to basic human decency and basic laws. They were like, oh, well, she's just stupid. She's just doing this because she likes this person. No, never. Never me. I promise you, never. And this is where women get severely forced into positions, because when they're alone and they're being punished into doing something, they're just going to do the thing that someone's punishing them to do. Except I sat there and took punishment for loads of people. People are extremely ungrateful. Loads of people are extremely ungrateful. And it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. I don't know why. My aunt used to say, I don't know why you do what you do, player, but it looks good on you. Because at the end of the day, the police are investigating all of those things, and all of those things are going to come into investigation. And it's not going to be my problem. People are like, oh, what are the police going to do? I don't know what the police are going to do. It's not my job to know what the police are going to do. All I know is they're investigating, and all I have to do is show them the evidence of what has been happening to me the last couple of years in Canada and the US, and they will decide what they're going to do with it.
Well,
It is not my business. Yeah, but I can't delegate what they're going to charge them with. That's not my business. I don't care. Arrest them. Go to jail.
It's sexual assault and trafficking.
Yeah. He confessed to that. Yeah. Yeah. And the people who went online and bragged about how they got me thrown into Canada, because they didn't get me deported with ICE. They said they worked with the Trump administration in Washington to get me thrown over the border in Canada. And I was driven to the border. I said I didn't want to cross the border, and I was thrown across the border.
That's not how you do that, right? And the border guards were complicit in handing over ICE so that she got trafficked. They were just trying to protect themselves.
Yeah.
And they're going to get investigated.
Yeah, they are. So it's like all of these people that were doing this stuff, it's like, I really hope all of you go to jail. I don't know what kind of criminal organization is this. I don't know what kind of evil is this. Like I said the other day on my stream, I don't even know why God allowed me to live through all this, because many days I woke up and I was like, God, why? You woke me up again for this? Like, please, just one of these days, just off it. Just let me just cut the oxygen flow, bro. I don't want it anymore. And he kept waking me up, and I was like, hey, obviously God has a purpose for me, because I've been dealing with all this crap and I'm still alive. Don't know why. But I hope whatever the reason is that all these people can get some kind of justice, because this is truly disgusting. And what disturbs me the most is the fact that the church, the place is supposed to be a sanctuary of healing for people, is a place being used to facilitate this abuse. And people are covering it up. And the only person that's going to cover up pedophilia and rape and trafficking is the damn predator. That's insane to me. That's insane. So nobody is ever going to tell me, oh, you were just trying to get a U visa and you were just trying to scam and you're a dirty Mexican. Well, guess what? That doesn't fly in Canada. And the reason why they didn't, probably one of the reasons, whatever they were trying to do at the border, the Canadians were not with it because the Canadians know I'm Indigenous. The Canadians have me registered Indigenous. And what the Americans were doing cannot fly in Canada. So good luck to you. All the best. All the best. Truly, truly and sincerely, all the best. May the best God win. Because although I don't demonstrate him perfectly, under the situation that I was under, people, everything that I did do, people would do far worse than what I done. People would have killed other people or themselves. The amount of self-control and the fact that I was going around to events in America when I was homeless and in shelters, also being politically pimped out by politicians who were posting my stuff and did nothing to help me. Carrie Lake, she's one of those people who posted me online that I was doing Trump event stuff on Navajo Nation. And I talked to her many times about what happened and they done nothing. I told her about the evidence and gave her my dad's research and papers and everything. She done nothing. The people, CPAC people in Arizona was putting me on their flyers and putting it out to the community and no one was helping me. I wasn't paid to be put on that flyer. People were having me come to where they are, go to different events, getting me to take them to different events in different states, having me work for them for free, and then abusing me and throwing me back on the street. And I couldn't do anything. And I was going to these people at these events at the top, politicians, influencers, what have you, giving information saying, this is what's going on. Let's fix it. Now Kash Patel's come out and talking about this in Congress and all these other people who are saying the same thing as us and people who are stealing our stuff but can't replicate it because they're stupid and don't know the why. And we're doing anything. The amount of stuff that I did. And they'll say for the white person, oh, this person's a patriot and they're getting abused so much and we're just so black fatigued and this is a patriot. They love Trump. I'm more of a patriot than most Americans born on American soil. My actions show that I am more of a patriot than any of you have ever been or will ever be because I understand. Huh? Most of them. That's what I said. Is it not? Most of them. The criminals, obviously, and even the normal people, because most people don't even do anything for their country. Then men want to come to me and complain about things and solutions. Don't ever, ever come to me about a problem. Unless you're like family. Don't ever come to me as a man with a problem. Unless you're my family. Because I promise you, I don't give a flying F. Don't come to me to fix your problems. Don't come to me to complain about the state of the country or the state of the world when you have the influence to do what needs to be done, but you're just a coward. Because there's loads of people with large influence that talk to me or try to talk to me sometimes and complain about certain things. And I'm like, I beg your pardon? And this is why we get suppressed so much, because they know if we actually had the audience and we had the people seeing the stuff, we would solve things very quickly. A lot of things very quickly, at least, because we know how to do things. And a lot of people don't know how to do things. They just know how to talk and complain. We've actually been putting things together and going out and doing work. Whereas other people are just going around trying to character assassinate and literally kill people, set people up for crime and lie and all sorts of things. I don't trust a single person on this planet apart from my father and like one other man. Not a single person on this planet. And I don't like anyone else either. And I don't have friends. And I don't need them and I don't want friends. I don't need any new friends. I don't want any new friends. Because I don't trust anybody. Especially after all the years. It's like anyone with common sense can look at a situation and be like, this is really messed up. But people had so much prejudice and they hate black people so much. Some black people hate black people so much that they let this go on too. They had no compassion or mercy, like, oh, this is messed up. I don't think this is right. What's going on here? And the people who did support and be like, this is messed up, they targeted those people and punished them for trying to support. I am convinced that most of cancel culture is actually human traffickers. The people that I wouldn't be surprised if loads of people who participate in cancel culture are actually human traffickers, going around and getting people fired from their jobs because they just don't like something that they said or did, trying to force the employer not to work with them so that they won't have any money, and they'll be blackballed out of getting a job anywhere in the country, and then they have children, they're forced to do whatever else they think it's going to have to be to help themselves, and then they can't. Some people have been even kicked out of their place, like their rental agreements and things like that, because people have found where they lived and all this other stuff. There needs to start being consequences for stuff like this, because honestly, this is insane to me. And I think one of the biggest reasons that women are doing this, feminists hate this, is because what we're doing is because people are going to realize that men are human trafficked more than anyone else. I'm certain. Men are the biggest victims of financial and sexual exploitation. Someone said I came in the middle. What did I miss? Watch from the beginning, man. Can't run back too much. It's too much. Men are the biggest financial and sexual exploit victims. Women will go and get married. I saw on the Times the other day, on the news, the public news, one of the national newspapers or whatever, that China and Russia has been sending women over to the West to sleep with men to destroy Silicon Valley. I'm sure other places too, but even marry the men and have children with them to destroy them and to get secrets. I was like, what the hell? And to control those men. Women have been doing that for a long time, and they use the family court to do it. Women will go and marry a man that she has no interest in. She doesn't love him. She doesn't care about him whatsoever. And then she will sleep with him, have children with him, and then control him that way, then leave him, take him for everything he has, and then use the children as a strong arm against the man to control the movements of the man, control what he can do. And then if he doesn't follow something, the child support payments, then he goes to jail, then he comes out of jail and he can't work the same good jobs anymore, because now most people don't hire convicted felons or criminals or whatever kind of criminal you're going to be labeled as, because when it goes through court, all of a sudden all these abuses happen that never happened, and they just believe the word of the woman because it's a woman in family court. Men, the only reason loads of women are experiencing what they're experiencing today is because men are being financially and sexually exploited to do it. That's just the reality. And until men stop being financially and sexually exploited en masse in such a large way, the way that's happening, and being destroyed and just completely disrespected in society, this stuff is going to continue to happen to everybody. And the cowards and the predators are going to continue to run society, because the good men are not running society right now. The predators have more control, or else this stuff wouldn't be happening. That's just what it is. And anyone can say, okay, well, Kaysha has attitude. Well, I wonder what you would have.
You said that?
No, not on the comments there. I'm just saying that what people have said to me this entire time. Everyone over the course of the last couple of years continue, oh, Kaysha's disrespectful. She's disrespectful. You should be dead. Because with what people had done to me, if they'd done it to the average person, they would have killed them, or they would have killed themselves. They would have done very, very awful things. So, again, miss me with that. I don't want to hear that. If you're going to talk about, oh, disrespectful, to cover up the fact that people are rapists and traffickers and murderers, I don't care. You're a disgusting person, and your opinion means nothing to me. You mean nothing to me. So, yeah. Yeah. That's what that is. That's the update. That's the update. You guys usually get a soft-spoken Kaysha, and today it was a little bit loud, so I apologize. But I'm exhausted, and I don't care anymore. In a lot of ways, I don't. Because it's like, I don't have to... I just don't have to.
Yeah, we'll take a break and we'll stream a little bit later.
Well, guys, what the heck? Oh, wait, you're gonna take a break right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, I'm going to... Can you put back the thing there so I can just see while I'm... No, over there.
Which? Oh.
Over, yeah. So I can just see while I'm... Anyways, guys, I'm gonna swing off of here. I am going to have another stream later where my dad is actually going to outline things in a way that makes more sense than what I can tell you, because obviously I'm going to be emotional. But we're going to discuss... My dad's going to outline the circumstance of what went on with the trafficking and these literal rapists and murderers, what they done. And he's going to show the evidence of these conversations and these audios for what these people did. And we're going to talk about that in the stream later. The confessions from these people of their own filth. And he's going to post... I think you post the thread about it?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to post a thread also so you can go back and actually look at this visually. But yeah, you're going to say something?
No, we're just going to go and just deal with some of this stuff because this is enough's enough. I mean, at the end of the day, people have been trying to go ahead and cut us off, and people running around saying that, you know, they have all the evidence to destroy us and everything else like that.
Yeah, you have all the evidence.
Which is lies, and they're taking information, they're clipping it to make it look... They're taking the information that I put out.
Yes, to clip it.
They clip some of it to try to create a narrative to make us look a certain way, where they're looking at the fact that people are getting abused. My daughter was getting her face beaten in.
Yeah.
And was in a very bad situation. People were trying to gaslight me, like this girl, Natalie, trying to gaslight me like I was never in the hospital. And you played the video, you could see that I'm drugged out of my mind.
Yeah.
And that I had pictures inside of the hospital. The nurses were saying it on the phone and everything else like that.
Yeah.
And then my daughter gets taken by somebody who's a rapist under these conditions and put in like the worst possible situation, and then takes her across the border and puts her all through that stuff. And all these people, they're all traffickers. Every single one of them. And in Canada, when you get somebody trafficked with an aggravated assault, like torture, that's life sentences.
Yeah.
Right?
Those
border, like the guy was saying about the guys at the border.
Yeah.
Deprivation of rights under color of law.
Yeah.
That's a death penalty.
Yeah.
Not to mention the information that I was bringing across. These guys are committing some serious crimes.
Yeah.
And people are watching these crimes in real time.
And did nothing.
Doing nothing.
And not just doing nothing, but helping the people who were trying to kill and rape me and set me up. While also like mocking me and all sorts of things. But whatever. Jesus will vindicate me and everything will work out as it's supposed to. I trust and believe. So, you know, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. We're going to take a break. So tune in for the show later. And it's not even like I enjoy coming on and talking about all these things or recanting all of these events. But this is what I have to do to literally stay alive and document the things myself, because for so long, no one has done anything and we haven't gotten any help. So this is just my life. This is my lot in life, and it's just, I've accepted that. So anyways. All right, guys, we'll catch you later. If you want to, yeah, I won't even, stay tuned for the show later. Hello, friends. My name is Kaysha, and I'm a proud member of the Métis Nation of Saskatchewan. And I'm also a survivor of human trafficking. My trafficking began in Saskatchewan, moved into Alberta, and even crossed into the United States. I was stalked, hunted, and ignored by the very systems over the last 5 years that were meant to protect me. This is why, with my father, Dale Richardson, we started the Karis Project. This is an Indigenous, survivor-led movement for humanity dedicated to exposing trafficking, government corruption, and holding institutions accountable. One of the most powerful tools that we are using is the petitions for redress of grievances. These are lawful constitutional actions rooted in Canadian and US law, and in treaties that tie us together across provinces, across states, and even across borders. These petitions are precedent-setting. They create a binding record. They demand accountability while representing reconciliation in action. Indigenous and non-Indigenous people working side by side to preserve liberty for all. But we cannot do this alone. We need your help to keep this movement alive, to raise awareness and to build a legacy of justice for Indigenous women, for trafficking survivors, and for families everywhere. Thank you. Please stand with us. Your support makes this work possible. Together we can restore justice, heal families, and defend freedom. And I will close with my favorite quote. The greatest want of the world is the want of men. Men who cannot be bought or sold. Men who in their inmost souls are true and honest. Men who do not fear to call sin by its right name. Men whose conscience is as true to duty as the needle to the pole. And men who will stand for the right.